Whatever you do, do not buy a Manfrotto tripod head or any tripod head without first watching this video. This video isn't sponsored by Manfrotto. I just own a ton of their tripods and think I've learned a lot about them over the years to share some advice. The purpose here is to help you avoid the same mistakes I did and help you get the right tripod head for your needs first time. This is going to be followed up with a tripod legs video, so keep an eye out for that one. Some of these heads are very old and have been thrashed. I assume a few will no longer be available to buy, however their flaws will still transfer over to newer models, so let's start from the bottom and work our way up. This little center column ball head wasn't the first tripod I purchased, but I did so because it was absolutely the lightest tripod in the world at the time, I'm pretty sure. However, what I did not consider with this head was its load capacity. When things are as light as they can be, sometimes that results in plastic, and I ended up using a far too heavy of a camera on this head than was recommended. I tested things out in the store first and all was well, and I assumed the load capacities had a huge margin of error to them. What ended up happening though was from repetitive use of this ball head, it started to stretch and wear, and now it no longer tightens up. This would have been great for maybe a phone or a real small camera, but the point is check out your tripod head's load capacity and don't push it to its limits. Next up we have a slightly stronger, bigger ball head, and I believe it came with some B-free tripod legs. This little number I've actually been using a lot for years, but never on a tripod. This one has been great to attach to things like a C-clamp for a lightweight head that can handle a lot more weight. But it still has two issues that don't suit every situation. First of all, it's a ball head design. Yes, this head can handle a lot more weight, but say you just want to level out your shot a little or pan slightly to the side, as soon as you loosen that ball head, your camera is flopping all over the place. Though it is nice, you can rotate your camera to vertical portrait mode, but only at 90 degrees. If your legs aren't perfectly level, being limited to 90 degrees can be a pain. Next up we have what has been my main landscape photography workhorse. It does have a separate pan lock, so if you want to pan for video or photographic panoramic stitching, this is great. Plus it has a tension adjuster for that pan, so you can dial in how much pressure you need to apply to your pan rather than it just being jumpy. Things like 2 bubble levels have been useful, and going into portrait mode does let you go past 90 degrees, which I still use all the time with wonky legs. But it is still a ball head, and it will flop all over the place as soon as you loosen it, especially if you're using a heavier camera. Fine-tuning tilt and rotation are a pain in the butt. This is photography, not for video. Now on to my oldest tripod head. This one has seen a lot of wear, but 20 years on, I still use it. I'm missing the handle for it, it's full of grit and sand and has been abused by the elements far too much. What's nice about this head is that you can adjust tilt and pan separately, which is great for video work and landscape work, and when it comes to leveling out your shot, loosening the head does not cause a complete flop, but it still isn't perfect. The center column is great for when you've got your legs all level and you just want to adjust your height a little. However, just as a warning, for long exposure photography, the more you extend this center column, the more shake you risk having. But where this head sucks is if you need to do some vertical style shots. You have to remove your foot from the camera, reattach it at 90 degrees and hope you get the right angle. Otherwise, you'll need to repeat this again just to get your tilt of your shot sorted. However, it's not this head's fault. It's just the pros and cons you need to be aware of depending on what you want to capture. Finally, I'm going to combine these two into one section. These are fluid heads and they are awesome for video. They can support huge weights, up to about 12 kgs. They both allow you to smoothly tilt and pan and adjust the resistance of both tilt and pan depending on what kind of speed and smoothness is required for said movement. Both of these heads have a counterbalance system. What it does is pretty much in the name. If you're using a very unbalanced rig, say with a large lens sitting weight further forward, instead of everything constantly trying to tip forward, use this system to add counterbalance so your camera always tries to reset to level. There are some weight limits to this. The difference between these two systems is that one has 3 stages of strength that will try to bring your head back to level, or you can just disable it, where the other has more of a fine-tuned dial for an exact amount. Or what I use this for very regularly is when filming sports or an event from height, say you're up on scaffolding, Combined with a little bit of tweaking of your camera placement using the foot and sliding that back and forth, you can make it so your lens resets back to an angle of your choice, like say slightly pointing downwards, instead of always trying to counter back to level, and if you're trying to film down, bringing your shot up. So it can make it sit very smooth when panning, and if you want to tilt up or down, it'll then like balance back to your level of choice. I find it incredibly useful. However, these two both have some major cons. They are big and heavy, plus not cheap, and most are just a pain in the butt for photography. The more universal useful a tripod head is, the less specialized it will be for a particular task. If I could leave you with one bit of advice when buying a tripod head, it is to err on slightly better than you'll think you'll need, because they last for ages and the future-proofing side of it definitely becomes a factor. However, if you have any advice you think should be shared, please let me know down in the comments below, or if you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them for you.